Chapter 1. The Man in the Corner. Rick Dawson had always been a mystery in the town of Rustville. He ran an old auto shop on the outskirts, surrounded by dusty fields and rusting cars from decades past. No one really knew where he came from. He didn't talk much, didn't go to the bar, didn't attend church on Sundays. People just called him the mechanic. He opened the garage at sunrise, closed it at sunset. Didn't matter if it was a weekend or a holiday, Rick was always there. With his dark jeans, flannel shirt, worn boots, and a baseball cap pulled low over his face. Always quiet, Brandon Keller, the loud, spoiled son of Councilman Frank Keller, rolled up in his lifted truck. Music blaring, tires screeching. He swaggered into the garage like he owned the place. "You Rick?" he asked, chewing gum and smirking. Rick didn't look up from the carburetor he was cleaning. "I need my shocks replaced." "Like today?" Rick finally looked at him. "Shop's full." Brandon scoffed. "It's empty." Rick said nothing. "Do you know who my father is?" Brandon snapped. Rick went back to his work. That's when Brandon noticed the tattoo on Rick's arm. Faded, but still visible. A trident. Brandon laughed. "What is that?" "Some fake Navy tattoo." He stormed out, and Rick went back to his work. Chapter 2. Echoes of the past. Next day. The garage was vandalized. Windows shattered. Spray paint on the walls. Coward. Fraud. Fake vet. Radar whimpered, stepping carefully through broken glass. Rick stood in the doorway, silent. That night, he didn't sleep. Instead, he opened a locked metal box hidden behind a wall panel in his small house above the shop. Inside, a uniform, folded with precision, a photo, a combat knife, and a letter. It read, "Greater than to the man who saved Chapter 4, The Reckoning." On a Wednesday morning, Councilman Keller hosted a campaign event downtown. Brandon stood by his side. All smiles for the cameras. Then came the sound of engines. Old trucks, motorcycles, SUVs. A line of veterans walked through the crowd. One by one, they took positions around the square. No weapons. No words, just presence. Rick stepped into view. People stared. Murmurs spread. Brandon turned pale. Then one of the veterans walked up to the microphone. He held up Rick's photo. "This man saved 12 of us in 2004. He never asked for thanks, never told his story. But we won't stand by while his name is dragged through the mud." Silence. Even the mayor lowered his head. Councilman Keller fumbled for words. Brandon disappeared into the crowd. The damage was done. Chapter 5. The legacy. Weeks passed. Rick's garage was repaired by the town, not by contractors. People brought meals. Kids washed cars to help. Strangers left thank you notes. Rick never smiled, but he nodded once, and that was enough. Radar walked with a little more pride. The town walked with a little more respect. Rick never told his story again. He didn't need to. Rustville remembered, and legends don't retire, they just go quiet.